Alright, my guest for today is a sports anchor for the MPBL. He was the UAAP Courtside Reporter for NU for seasons 80 and 81. Not a lot of Courtside Reporters have done that. He is the sports promo producer now for Signal. He's an overall very fun and gago guy, according to his friends. Welcome to the show, Mr. Miguel DYPIANGCO. Kamusta, man?
Thank you. What's up, man? Saan galing yung gago? Sino yung nagsabi na?
I feel like that's already, for those who don't know, Dip and I, we went to the same high school. So, we weren't batchmates, but parang I would just know of you na rin kasi like, you kind of just know the people around Ateneo High School. Tapos nakikita ko gagi, yung mga, nung Snapchat pa stories, meron kang signature move na sobrang hype. I don't know exactly what the name of the move is. Yung you're gonna hold your foot on one leg, tapos tatagon ka, tapos you're gonna jump over. And as a dancer, alam ko medyo mahirap yun What's the story behind that? Sino nagturo sa yun? Or paano siya naging signature dance move mo?
I think parang nakikita ko lang kasi mga dancers. I grew up with friends na yung dancers. Like, I don't know, si Gio Martinez, diba, barkada ko. And mga sila core, yan, mga dancers. Tapos kayo, like, I see you guys pag sa mga events sa high school and you're all dancers. I've always been fond of dancing. Although I don't dance, and I don't know how. I just find it like nice form of art na parang, I appreciate this. Parang nanonood din ako ng mga competitions, ganyan. So, naaliw talaga ako. Tapos, I think, parang naisip ko lang, I have to have some dance moves pag may mga parties, diba? Dahil di naman ako marunong sumayaw. Parang naisip ko, what if i-try ko tong trick na to? Kasi I remember a classmate of mine, grade school, galing niya gawin to. Tapos parang, not a lot of people can do it. So I just tried it. Pinapractice ko talaga siya sa bahay, sa kama.
Oh, okay.
Until na-perfect ko. Although, like, in recent times, I can only do it kapag may amats ako. Like, pag sober ako, nahihirapan na akong gawin.
Kaya mo yung extra energy to parang boost you to ano. But then I think you just need one move.
Energy tsaka yung willpower na hindi na ako nag-iisip. Pag sober kasi ako, isipin ko, shucks.
Mahihiya ka pa.
Baka ma-injure. Ganun.
Has it ever happened that in a party, ginawa mo yung move na yun, tas nag-fail ka?
Not in a party, but in
at home.
Not at home. Sa bahay ng friend ko, parang out of town kami.
Okay.
Tapos tinry ko siya, nakapaa ako. And then I failed badly. Basically, natapilok ako. Yung landing ko, nag-twist yung ankle ko. So, namaga. And then they had to like put ice the entire night. Parang inalagaan nila ako the entire night kasi I failed badly.
Shit. Okay, so that's...
But that was the only time I failed.
Yeah. Yeah, I always see yung mga videos na syempre you do it successfully. But then, yung pala, si Dip nagkakamali rin pala. Oh, shit. Okay.
Tsaka it took a long time before I started doing it again kasi na-trauma ako .
Wow. Would you say that you feel the same way when it comes to relationships? Boom.
Wow.
Here we go. Nakikita ko kasi mga posts, no, you're not someone who's shy to talk about this or it's a topic na you have talked about agad. Nakikita ko yung mga captions mo, yung mga hirit mo. So, ikaw naman yung, let me put the spotlight on you naman. So, when it comes to relationships, ganyan ka rin ba? Na pag na-trauma ka once, mahirap till you get to move on to the next?
I think it's not really trauma, but like timing . It comes with timing. Siyempre, I'm not, you know how there's a 3-month rule.
Do you agree with that? Do you believe in that?
Not so much, but like, ako kasi personally, hindi ko naman sabihing 3 months kailangan. But for me, I think I need more time than that actually.
Okay.
So, parang, in a sense, I'm a believer of that. Although, hindi naman ako super like, ikaw, kailangan like, people around me are supposed to follow this.
Yeah.
To each his own, diba? But like for me, I would prefer na after a relationship, parang, take some time off, learn more about yourself, where kung saan ka nagkulang, kung saan ka pwede mag-improve, para in your next one, mas okay kang tao.
Meron ka bang specific duration na feeling mo? If you kind of agree with the 3-month rule, sabi mo, to each his own, for you personally, meron ka bang, in your experience, like na, okay, for me, it took me 8 months, or may specific duration ka ba na naalala?
Wala . Like, my last relationship was 2018 pa.
Oh.
So,
kilala ko yun.
Kilala mo yun. So, wala akong specific. Like, I think if I just meet the right person at the right time na parang I vibe with this person and I think I could connect with her, then by all means, diba, do what you can to, court her, to get to know the person. Ganyan. Wala namang specific time frame for me.
Yeah. So, it's more of when the next right person comes along. When the next right person comes along.
And also, not just the next right person. Of course, you also have to be the right one na for that person.
Okay. Pero, it's hard to tell eh. How do you know that you're the right person na? Parang how can you, may parang self-diagnosis ka bang pwedeng gawin na sabihin mo na, I'm the right person na, I can move on to another relationship again?
I think it involves a lot of self-reflection. Hindi siya basta-basta. Of course, you have to make an effort to like understand yourself also. Although, mahirap yun. But I think when you have your partner, communication is important for that person to also tell you ano yung pagkukulang mo, what you can improve on. Like, siguro you're not, parang being the right person kasi for that partner doesn't mean you're already perfect. That's not being a right person. You're evolving constantly eh. So, tama ka kung you're able to work it out with that person. So parang, I saw this person, she's the right one for me because I see na pwede siyang tumanda kasama ko.
Okay.
To become this person eventually. Parang minsan kasi bias ka sa sarili mo, you think you're ready. But you're not. So you also need someone talaga to affirm na, okay, you're enough na person.
Okay. So are you ready na ba now, Dip?
Oo naman.
Okay naman.
Ready naman.
Medyo na pataga tayo dito sa love. Pero okay lang. I'm learning. But then to bring out something that's very current right now, I'm just gonna jump into it. I don't have any clever segue. Do you follow the U.S. elections? And are you like a very, politically involved person?
I would say politically involved, yes. More on locally.
Yeah.
U.S., I follow it like buong araw today.
Really?
Siguro from 1 p.m. hanggang bago tayo mag-usap, nanonood lang ako ng CNN. So I was really like just watching, monitoring yung developments, kung saan areas na yung may mga votes na pumapasok, ganyan.
Yeah.
In that sense, yeah, nakatutok ako.
But bakit mo pinapanood? As in, kasi are there any news stories that come out? Diba? It's just nakita ko sa Facebook yung parang it's just the number of sino na like how many.
Yeah.
I don't know how this electoral votes. Is that the right term? How many electoral votes one candidate has versus the other one?
Yeah.
Bakit mo sinusundan?
I think it has a lot of effect sa bansa natin in terms of how we will also vote in the future.
Okay.
Parang napag-usapan ko to recently with a friend, like noong 2016. Nauna tayo magbotohan eh. So, parang in a sense, hindi siya match. Like, nanalo naman si Duterte bago nanalo si Trump noong 2016. But this time around, before we have our next elections, sila naman yung mauuna magkaroon ng result. I think this time, yung 2022 elections natin will depend or will have parang may effect
yung US
ang nangyayari sa US ngayon. Kasi parang a lot of people are, watching, nakaabang. We can compare, I guess, Trump to Duterte.
Yeah, totally.
Kung mawala siya sa picture, people will see na, maybe we also need someone new. Diba? If Biden wins and then 2021, okay siya, then people will realize na, maybe we need someone new also. Parang, why don't we follow the US and like, make a change. Diba?
And that's what we do naman a lot, no? Filipinos. We really just love to. I'm one of them. I'm wearing an NBA shirt. My cap is everything I'm wearing is pretty much American. So I get it. Filipinos really do. There's a pattern. Although it's not like who wins in the US, that's directly gonna affect. There is some parang effect to it. Now with the now we're talking about political stuff. Ever since you became a public figure, I think I can say that you hindi ka pa artista, but you are a public figure. You have gone on TV. You have been interviewed by Tito Boy. you are in the public eye. Did you ever feel the need to become more politically open now that you have like a bigger platform, or is it something that you've had from before pa and you're just doing the same thing?
I think even before I started doing my sports gigs and television gigs, I've always been vocal about my political stance,
Okay.
my stance on issues. If anything, parang nabawasan pa nga ngayon eh.
Really?
Not because wala na akong pake, but more on like, I'm in sports, so medyo parang nakafocus ako on the entertainment side. Not to say na, yun nga, wala akong pake, but like, there's a notion kasi na parang if you
Yeah, I get it.
get involved too much in politics, parang hindi ka naman naka, of course you have a say in everything, but like personally when I got into sports, that's what I wanted to focus on.
More on the
But
entertainment.
behind that, more on the entertainment, but behind
Yeah.
that, of course, I was still watching the news. I was still updating myself with what's happening
Yeah.
in the country.
I totally get it. When you were in sports, I was in music. It's still entertainment, still media, but it's still not the political side of it. Both of us, we are hosts. We love talking and going in front of a stage, in front of an audience. But I personally didn't like the drama, and it can always get a little sketchy. I think that's a reality. Na if it's anything political, no matter what side you're on, no matter what you say, parang there's medyo delikado palagi. That's why I got a little more conscious when it comes to like what I post online. Even if I know naman wala akong maging ginagawa. Did you have that also? Did you get more conscious na nung naging courtside reporter ka for the first time medyo ano ka ba, like tipid ka na sa retweets mo, or when you're gonna share some political news, like what was it like for you?
Yeah, parang mas naging conscious ako with how I spent my time on social media, yung usage ko, parang mas naging conscious ako in a way na, yun nga, I'm not naman supposed to, but like, parang I don't wanna post these stuff na parang would be sort of triggers for people to like, hey man, like, ganyan. Kasi, nag-iba na rin yung landscape ng social media eh. Like,
yeah.
Minsan, sobrang simple lang ng tweet mo. Diba? Minsan, simple lang yung tweet mo. Someone will find a mistake somewhere in your tweet, diba?
Yeah.
Although not, yun nga, syempre critical tayo mag-isip, but like, there are things na parang, that's a little bit too much. Masyado na yung reach na, parang wala namang mali, pero hinahanapan pa rin ng mali. Ganun.
Did it ever happen to you? Na-bash ka na ba online for something, or did you get in trouble for anything you talked about online?
Yeah, I think it was related to sports. A couple of years back, I think. Although dinelete ko siya right away. Basically, may hinirit kasi ako about transgender sa sports.
Oh shit.
Which was very new pa.
Yeah. No, but okay, but the moment you go to politics is one thing, but the moment you step into the sphere, the realm of anything LGBTQ related, it's just I'm pro LGBTQ, but I just stay away because I know that there's so many wrong things that you can possibly do. Okay, sorry. So go on.
Yeah, so tama naman. Like marami siyang facets na we have to understand. You can't just, say anything at the top of your head. So parang yun, I just tried to make a joke. Di ko na sasabihin ko na yung tinweet ko, pero I got called out. And then delete ko siya because I realized, this is wrong.
Okay. Na-call out ka ng boss mo or ng tao? I mean, ng like,
ng mga
audience.
Nanonood din, ng audience. Nanonood sila ng sports.
Okay.
And then they were like, parang I admire you for your reporting, but parang this is kind of much. Yeah. So delete ko naman siya.
Okay. Sige, I'm very curious about the topic, but I will move on from the topic. I'm not sure if you know, you got interviewed by Tito Boy. He actually has a podcast now, and he recently interviewed Harry Roque. And I'm gonna share it with you, and I have a question about it. Harry Roque apparently I don't know anything about his life. He has a daughter who's a UP activist, and he was sharing about how she's really against his political work. Sabi niya na the daughter thinks that he's in the wrong when it comes to that. So doon nakita ko parang shit pa, baka may hope naman tayo. Kasi for me, in this entire pandemic, it's really hard to find hope when it comes to our country. Ikaw, as a millennial, as a fellow Filipino, take out the fact that you're a courtside reporter, that you're a media personality. How is the situation for you in your head when it comes to your hope in our country?
Wow. May hope naman ako ngayon. Like, may natitira pa akong hope. Although I'm just waiting also na dumating yung 2022 elections for us to be able to vote. Go out and vote.
That's a long time from now, eh. Like, there's so much bad shit that most likely will happen before we.
It is a long time from now, but like from the looks of it and how we've already gone through how many months of a pandemic, March to November, 8 months na, man. And wala tayong masyado nakitang progress. Parang kanya-kanya na lang tayo. Like, every man for himself, mabuhay ka. Come out of this alive, don't get sick. Yun na lang yung instructions eh.
Tiwala na sa vaccine, di ba?
So, in terms of now, ang hirap to see the light. So this is something that, you know, people of privilege, like I would say tayo, na meron tayong choice to what to do pa.
Yeah.
Diba? In terms of career, in terms of life. Pero kasi, I think, what you have to think about is yung mga Filipinos who are really struggling right now. Yun yung, kung ako nawawala ng pag-asa minsan, think about them, diba? Mas lalo at silang nahihirapan.
You don't even have the choice to like say, shit, parang may hope pa ako or parang wala pa akong hope.
Yeah, diba? They don't even think about that. Like, aasa pa ba ako? Ang nasa isip kasi nila, I have to survive
without choice.
Diba? So yun, parang in terms of hope, parang I'm one with them na, we really have to make a change soon na, you know, as much as you wanna believe in what the administration can do, wala eh. We've been like proven wrong every single time na parang proven right.
Yeah. I share your sentiments na it's not, hindi na ako nagugulat honestly when there is something bad in the news. It's like, when there's something good na lang ako na, oh shit, may good news pala na nangyayari sa bansa natin. When this pandemic started, in the interviews I've done, I've always asked them about how are you adjusting to this new normal, to this new situation that we've been in. But like you said, we've been here for 8 months. Hindi tayo nag-adjust new normal or anything. And before I talk and ask you about your career, you know, for you generally, mentally, how has it been now that we're already in this new normal? It's not anymore us adjusting. Nandito na tayo, and I don't think it's gonna go away anytime soon. How have you been?
Now I'm okay. I can say I'm okay. Yeah, I got a job recently. I still get to talk to my friends. We catch up online. So parang yung sanity ko is still intact. Parang ang nangyari kasi sa akin sa simula, from March to like June, okay ako. Like, sige, I'll accept this. And then, when things like ABS-CBN shutting down happened, and then more cases umaakyat, dun ako medyo na parang shocks. Medyo na apektuhan na ako nito. Like, na akong trabaho, tapos wala tayong pag-asa muna sa vaccine. Doon na ako medyo na-apektuhan. Like, that was really a low point na like, anong gagawin ko for myself? Like, I can't just stay at home.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been working since graduation, so yeah, I can afford to like, sige, maybe use this time to take a break, diba?
And you live with your mom, diba? So, sorry, you live with your
Yeah, and to think about it na wala ka rin ginagawa is like, you have so much energy. Alam mong, kung walang virus, tuloy-tuloy lang yung buhay eh. Like, what you're doing, tuloy-tuloy yan eh. So, in my head, like, I have so much energy to give to sports where I was working for. Tapos, you take that away from me. Where do I put my energy now?
That's
diba?
Right.
So, parang ang lungkot for me. But then, at one point, I had to make a move. I had to decide, I can't just wait for opportunities to come. I have to make my own move.
Or for life to go back to normal.
Yeah. So, yun, nag-apply ako, like, which I did for the first time in my life kasi nga after grad, parang absorb agad ako sa sports. Ito, I really had to prepare everything and go through interviews, ganyan. So ngayon, I would say like, I'm at an okay point in this pandemic.
What caused you to make the decision not to go look for a job? Kasi I totally agree and relate with you with the whole ABS-CBN thing. ABS-CBN sports mix, same thing happened. Nawalan kami ng trabaho. When did you decide, or was there something that parang natauhan ka na I have to do something about this? I can't just wait. Was there a certain person that talked to you? Was it like a moment, or what happened?
I think it was a combination of the people around me, plus really thinking about what I want to do in life. And I was thinking, wala talagang sports. Even before NBA came back, it seemed like there was no
That's right.
hope for sports to be aired on television this year. So sabi ko, wala talaga. Like, maghihintay ako na bumalik ni sports. Kailan pa yun? So, and then of course, seeing people doing their own thing pa rin, continuing with their work.
Yeah.
Siyempre, iba naman yung industry nila. So, parang hindi sila masyado na-apektuhan. But like, you know, it's normal for them. Like, they get to work. So, sabi ko, parang gusto ko pa rin yan. Like, I actually considered transferring in a different industry na mag-corporate elsewhere. So, yun, parang naisip ko lang sa sarili ko na, man, I have to do something about this. Like, I can't just stay at home and literally do nothing. Yeah. Like, of course, kasama na dyan yung self-care mo na, okay, nag-workout naman ako.
Tapos everything's okay at home. You guys are safe.
Yeah. Yeah. But of course, you want to be able to use some of your energy pa rin sa trabaho.
Yeah. And that's how we were wired there. I think if you study in Ateneo and then you studied in UP, I studied in Ateneo, when you're done, you have to work it. Like that is the way that life is supposed to go. You're supposed to work. But I hope you don't mind me asking, what industry were you considering na corporate, na hindi media, hindi sports?
Marketing. Parang I was looking into marketing, advertising. I was like, oh, I think medyo related siya. But I'll be working for brands, not necessarily television, not necessarily content for media, diba? So medyo malayo siya, like something I never imagined to be in.
When it comes to being a sports anchor and, you know, commentating, how do you work on your craft? There is no, it's like you're hosting. There is no school for it. I don't think I know that there's the Newbies Broadcasting Academy, which you took also. I think I took a few batches before you. But besides that, there aren't any courses on how to be better. It's really, if you look at the ones now who are doing it, they also didn't go through any formal training. So how do you work on that craft of yours?
I think it's a lot of consuming media.
Okay.
If you don't know what you're getting yourself into, if you're not a fan of the sport, if you're not a fan of the league, you will have a hard time. Having knowledge about the sport, the league is already a big advantage. That's already, I would say, half of what you need to do sa job mo. So imagine if kailangan mo pang gawin yun, marami kang hahabulin. So kailangan by heart, alam mo na yung sport, alam mo na yung gusto mong pasukan na league, yung UAAP, PBA, MPBL, ganyan. The job description mismo, which is to talk, that's the aspect na you really have to practice. Like, it's weird. You'll find it weird to talk to yourself, to practice. Pero that's the only way. Like, I find myself pag driving to the venues of the games, I practice my ad-libs, practice my intros, ganyan. I do vocal exercises, mag-isa ako sa kotse, parang yung bibig ko, parang binubuka ko, all that stuff. Hindi siya yung typical preparation mo for work.
Yeah.
But yeah, to improve on it is really just to keep practicing your talking and also watch yourself, like listen to yourself, your past games. That's the only way to improve.
You talked about, you know, you have to love the sports. You have to know what you're getting yourself into. But the reality is, as a courtside reporter in UAP, I know that you played basketball, so obviously you're a fan of basketball. When it comes to a sport that you are, let's not name sports, but when it comes to a sport that you're probably not as interested in, for me, when it comes to, I would have to interview an artist I have never heard of from a genre I don't have any clue about, diba? How do you get yourself interested in that? I'm sure it's a bigger challenge. So how do you pick yourself? Na, kasi malamang you don't like all sports. I don't think there's someone who likes every single sport, diba? How do you get interested in those sports that you just naturally aren't really, you know, attracted to?
Aside from basketball, I've covered beach volleyball, football, athletics.
Sorry,
Yun,
what's
for SEA
athletics?
Games. Track and field
Okay.
for SEA Games.
The
So
many,
siguro,
yeah, okay.
many events, yeah.
Mm.
So, siguro I would focus na lang on football. Kasi yun yung parang pinakamarami akong na-cover.
Okay.
Times that
And you're
I
not a
went on
football
air.
guy. Like, you didn't grow up watching football.
I played FIFA with my friends.
Okay.
Pero it's not like I watched the games.
Yeah, nothing
of
compared to
mga league.
your love for
Yeah,
basketball.
nothing close to basketball. So sabi ko, wow, I'm getting offered to commentate for this sport. Maybe because yun nga, may tiwala sila na I can do it. How do I make sure na I do a good job? So syempre, yung mindset mo, you have to treat it as a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Hindi mo siya pwedeng ipetix lang na I can just do what I do in basketball kasi ibang-iba siya eh. The biggest thing you have to do is treat it as a challenge para ikaw ma-motivate ka.
Okay.
Hindi yung parang kabisado ko na to. Like, it's just commentating for basketball. Like, just like that. So yun, dun ka magsisimula. Then you'll start researching, reading more about it.
Okay.
Trying to listen also how the commentators do it.
In different sport kasi it's a different style eh. Like there's different different give and take. When it comes to watching sports, you said you have to consume media. That's a huge part of your job. We grew up watching sports for fun. We wanted to watch it because we like to watch it, diba? I never really like had to understand like, oh, how is the commentator describing what's happening? How does he react to what happens? Or if he has an ad, he has to say a brand, diba? When there's a dunk, for example. Has it ever reached a point for you? I'm curious to know that you couldn't anymore distinguish if I'm gonna watch sports for fun or for work. Kasi I think that you have to have the distinction between the fun and the work. But if your job is something that is fun to you, diba? How do you make the distinction na I'm gonna watch it for fun, I'm gonna watch it for work?
Yung mga for fun, I watch it for fun kasi parang hindi siya yung mga games na i-cover ko soon. For example, UAAP. Like, syempre, I'm a student when I was still in UP. Or nung kakagraduate ko lang, syempre, I'd support UP as a fan. Na parang, hey, support tayo sa UP. So that's for fun. Pero yung mga games na papanoorin ko for work, ito na yung mag-research ako online. Like, I'll watch the past games of this certain team. And like, hindi ko siya pinapanood na aliw ako sa highlights. It's more of like knowing the story behind it. When you're watching kasi for fun, you're in the moment na parang nag-enjoy ka sa bawat highlight. Pero when you're trying to review a past game, you're not gonna mind the highlights masyado. You're gonna look for the stories, the numbers behind it. Yeah. So mas nagiging analytical ako pagdating sa work.
Okay, so if you're gonna watch a basketball game now, is it default for you to look for the story and think of like, oh, let's say this person shot from the left corner. Oh, he was working on that shot because last year he was shot ganyan % from it lang. Has it been already default for you na whenever you're gonna watch it, it's always parang wala, it's second nature na to you to look for the story behind it and the numbers and everything?
Yeah, it is. And at the same time, when watching a game, talagang nakikinig din ako sa mga commentators for that game. As in, like while watching, understanding what's happening in the game, I also take note of what the commentators say, this is a good line. This is a nice description of what happened. Para in the future, alam mo rin how you'll do it. Mm-hmm. Malalaman mo ano yung dapat mong gawin. So parang it's a combination of everything. You're watching for fun, but you're also, in hindsight, you're listening to what the commentators have to say. Minsan mapapasabi ka, wow, ang ganda nung sinabi niyo. Or like minsan, wow, parang medyo off ayun. So, a little bit of everything. Tapos syempre, the players also like, ganyan siya maglaro kasi last game ganito. So parang ang daming gumagana.
Yeah. It's led you, I'm guessing that it's led you to have like a deeper appreciation of the game. Hindi siya na naging parang hassle, I can't enjoy this anymore kasi puro numbers na lang nakikita. Ang dami ko na nakikita even if it's just one play that's happening. You're going to enjoy it more.
Yeah. Sometimes may mga plays talaga na you just have to enjoy it. Like, just cheer. Diba? Hindi mo na kailangan mag-isip.
Who's your favorite? Do you have a favorite let's give one for international and local na commentator.
Commentator in the NBA, Mike Green.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people would agree to that. Na, diba well, biased din ako kasi Luka, Dallas Mavs fan ako eh.
Oh, really?
So, yung game winner ni Luka, sobrang fan ako nung call niya nun, diba?
That was probably the best Mike Breen moment of the restart. That was nice.
The double bang, diba? Like, minsan lang siya mag-ganon eh. So, siya. Iba lang, like, kahit sanay ka na sa words niya, kahit sabihin nating trademark or paulit-ulit na, hindi siya nakakasawa pakinggan. Local, I've said this before, parang gusto ko yung style ni Nico Ramos. Very wide vocabulary, colorful yung words na ginagamit niya. He gets to insert lyrics sometimes kasi DJ din siya before.
Yeah.
So parang minsan nakaka-insert siya ng mga...
And siya, millennial siya eh. So parang
yung
mga pop culture references and the way he talks, mas, I don't know, I would appreciate it more. Yeah, gets.
Yeah, so that, but he doesn't lose the sense of the game. Like, the essence is there.
You've been commentating. You were courtside reporter and then you started commentating. How long have you been a commentator na? Like 1 year na ba?
1 year, yeah. Well, yeah. I started January last year.
Okay. At least you got to have more than a year then. Do you already, can you describe what type of commentator you are? Because there are different, I know there are different roles. There's an analyst, there's an anchor. You are an analyst or an anchor? Anchor. You're the one that explains what happens.
Play by play, yeah.
Yeah. Do you already, have you like painted a picture for yourself on like what type of anchor are you? There are different types eh. There are different like styles of doing it. Man, come on, parang, okay, when I, step in the booth, when I get behind the mic, I have to do this persona.
I'm more of the serious type of anchor actually, na parang with my tone of voice kasi. Yun eh, parang
very radio voice.
Yeah, very I mean, it takes an effort for me to like make it super energetic, which I try really to make it as energetic as possible. And it also comes with the quality of the games. Like, pag nadala ka, talagang masaya yung coverage mo.
Yeah.
So, yun. I think my style, by being serious, I rely on my analyst. Like, I really make it a point na mag-banter kami to like... Because I'm not an expert naman, I would say, in basketball. So, I'll let him do the explaining.
And the numbers.
And then I'll complement. Like, I'll add to it. I'll make my own explanations. But at the same time, yun naman kasi yung main description na anchor. You have to parang...
set the table.
Yeah, make everyone look good, basically. Kasama na dyan yung courtside reporter. So yun, more of like a team player that is...
a communicator.
Serious. Yeah. Pero at the same time, sige, try natin mag-insert ng jokes at ng high energy stuff. But yeah.
I think that's good though, because if that's who you are. I mean, you're a very magago guy. But if I would have to like, there are different stereotypes of the gago guys in Ateneo. Yung mga Atenistang gago. I would fall under the more lagi naghihirit, mas maingay. Yours is more by default serious, pero I can rely on a dip joke every now and then. Parang medyo, it's not so often, but I think that also adds to the quality of it and the impact. Kasi hindi ka palagi like Mike Breen's bang. Hindi siya lagi nagbabang, but when he does, alam mong that's a moment.
Yeah. Kasi syempre pag parati mo ginagawa, nakakaumay din, di ba?
That's true. But it's not the same with your dance move naman, I would say. I think every time it's still gonna have a great impact. Okay. Now more on basketball. You talked about this in different interviews that you grew up playing as a basketball player. You were teammates with the Nietos, people you got to witness from the other side in the UAP stage, diba? And you shared how you played basketball. You were how to say you competitively basta varsity ka and you were in that basketball path until like third year high school, and then you realized now, in your words, that other people were better than you. Now that you're here, you have a career in sports on the other side. If you were given the chance, like a genie popped up and like You could have done it. You could have you can redo it. You can do it all again. But you could have wished for like a better body that's just genetically made for basketball, or you had a better work ethic. Would you have gone through that same basketball dream path that you would be a player right now?
Yeah, definitely. I would say, yeah. Naiisip ko pa rin siya minsan, like, damn, these players are
Really
living a good life. Like, they're playing the sport that they love,
getting paid for it.
and then they get paid for it. So, I was thinking, like, if I'm just this talented, or like, if sineryoso ko siguro, like, I don't know, we'll never know. Like, if I had a different work ethic, diba?
Yeah.
It would be a different experience. Pero I would say, that was my first love, like really playing the sport. Diba?
Yes.
Kaya naman ako nagsasalita about basketball. It's because I love the sport. It's not because really I love talking about it.
Yeah.
It's more of like, first and foremost, I loved playing it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's good. I'm actually kind of happy that it was an honest answer. I would have imagined. I was kind of expecting baka you were gonna throw me those. No, I would still do. No doubt, I would still talk about sports. I wouldn't.
This is what I was. This is what I was born to do. Like, dito na ako
yeah. But that's good. But then it's
Yeah.
that's the reality in life. Like
Mhm.
your dreams change.
Mhm.
You love basketball, but wala. I mean, the path that you ended up taking is that you're on the other side of it. But
Mhm.
just to also, give clarity to the other side. You're very happy. Are you very happy where you are now?
Yeah. Of
You
course,
love what you
yeah.
do.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. That's good. Now that we're in, now that we're in sports anchoring, I want to go a little more serious now. And again, I mentioned how, we kind of have similar upbringings that we studied at Ateneo till high school. You went to UP, one of the top universities also. It is expected that after our parents pouring out so much money in our education, when you go out, we're gonna make some big money. We're gonna make some big bucks. Were you ever worried about that career path na hindi sa nagiging, nagmumukhang pera. It's just that logically, if you spend so much to learn, you gotta earn. So was it ever like a fear for you na the financial aspect and the sustainability of it? Kasi we know that it's if you have a game. Hindi naman siya kasing secure as yung mga corporate jobs where you have benefits, you have insurance and all those stuff.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before. Like, kasi nga, same tayo na pinasukan na industry. Sort of after
Wait, sorry,
college.
you and I have talked about this?
Something like the money in the industry.
Okay, yeah.
Something like that. So, yeah, you're right. Like, no sugarcoating. Sinasabi ng mga tao, if you're gonna do it for the money in this industry, then you're doing it for the wrong reason, because you're not gonna get quote-unquote rich with this job, anchoring, or like, you can, like, if sobrang dami mo na, if you're super established, you get like hosting gigs from it. Patong-patong na yan. Endorsements. But like, if you're just like, kunwari kami starting out and, we get called per game, it's not like we earn so much, diba? To answer your question, it wasn't really a conscious thing na, I have to earn a lot. It's more of like, because I had my mom's support also na, sige, go, do what you want. And this is what I studied in college. Ito na yung, imagine, before pa ako graduate, like college pa lang, nakapag-courtside na ako. So, that in itself, parang, may sinasabi na siya na, okay, maybe you're for that industry.
It's a sign then from God.
Yeah, parang hindi ka pa nga gumagraduate, but you're already working and slightly earning kasi may allowance naman kami nun.
Yeah.
So, parang I just accepted na this is where I'm supposed to be.
I had the same thing when it came to hosting. I was starting to host na in college. It was fun. It was bonus kasi I had allowance. I wasn't expected to earn, yet I'm earning on some weekends. So, wow, diba? Galing. But after graduating and everybody starts earning regularly, securely, it is a challenge. It's still a challenge that I face up to this day. I get worried about it. Do you think that if you didn't have the taste of earning and having the job in college, do you think you'd be here now? Like, do you think that you'd be as confident na, I can actually, I actually have a shot in this in this weird industry that's not, stable and everything. If you didn't have those opportunities you did in college, what do you think?
That's a good question kasi I've always
That's a good question. That's a good answer.
thought about it na especially itong pandemic na yun nga parang ngayon I'm forced to like look for jobs other than what I do, what I used to do.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like, am I nung college ba ako kung hindi ko siya na-experience, would I think na parang bagay ako sa corporate? Kasi yun nga, dahil na-experience ko na yung courtside, I was telling myself, I was grooming myself na, okay, I'm not gonna do corporate when I graduate.
Yeah.
So, had I reversed it na, okay, hindi ko siya na-experience, bagay ako sa corporate. So, I think, to answer your question, yeah, like, hindi ko siya may imagine na magagawa ko siya as for a living if hindi ko siya na-experience back then.
Okay.
Kasi yung typical is like, yeah, you go corporate, you go through the corporate ladder, diba? So, I think it would have been different had I not auditioned and had I not, gotten that stint in UAAP.
That was more of like, us going into the industry. I actually made it to the industry, ganyan. I would think that actually before it would look like that's the biggest challenge, getting into the industry. Now that you're in the industry, and the reality is, the people who have the same jobs as you, they're much older and they're much more experienced, have a lot of years in it. It's like Nico Ramos is like probably the next guy in age, when it comes to age, who does the same thing as you. How is it like being the kid in that industry?
It's hard. Nakaka-pressure. Nakaka-flatter.
Yeah. I'm here with the big boys.
Yeah, nakaka-flatter, but at the same time, nakaka-pressure. It was like, first off, nakakatuwa kasi parang, at an early age, I get to do this already. I get to commentate, I get to cover games at an early age. So, masaya siya in that sense. Pero, syempre, you think about these people, and then you think, am I gonna last as long as these men who are already sort of made up in the industry? Kasi parang, yan, sila Boom, sila Tito Miko, parang ang tagal na nila sa industry. Mapapaisip ka like, damn, how am I gonna get to their level?
Yeah.
So, yun, nakaka-pressure siya. Pero, yun nga, you turn that pressure into motivation na lang na I have to find ways to evolve my commentating, to be able to stay relevant, to be able to connect to my audience pa rin, so that later on, when the game changes, when the commentating changes, they'll still need you.
Yeah, diba? You can adapt. You're resilient enough to like change with the times. Do you have a big dream for the future? Like, meron ka bang, is there like a specific job that you want? Like 10 years, 20 years down the road, where do you see yourself in terms of your career?
If may choice lang ako now, I'd stick in sports. Like, I would love to cover sports on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But also, I want to be hosting.
As in social events or?
Yeah, social events.
Okay.
Kasi yun, kahit pa paano nakakapag-host naman ako before.
Mm-hmm.
So just have that freelance type of job talaga na parang kunwari, in the afternoon, may game ka, and then sa gabi mag-host ka naman ng event. Parang ganyan. Like, to be able to have control over your time. Like, yun, mga hosting, and then of course, a show. Pagpapalain man ako, like a show that would be about sports na, whether I'm a host. Yeah, parang ganun, like whether I'm a host or like a regular guest analyst or something.
Aren't you already a regular? How many times? You've been on the job a bunch of times.
Sa The Score.
The Score, sorry. Yeah.
The Score.
This is Miko Halili, right?
Yeah, before everything happened. Kami ni Migs. Yung isang who also turned commentator. Kami, we were resident parang guests for MPBL specifically. So we would be there to discuss anything MPBL related, which was really fun. That started around late last year. Tapos nag-run until
wow, that's March. Just a few months. But you already had a lot of exposure and experience with that.
Yeah, so parang yun nga parang pasimula pa lang Kaya imagine mo yung point na nagsara siya, parang, oh
dude,
my God.
I feel you, man. Man.
Relate.
Yeah, dude.
Yakapin kita,
Nakamiss.
bro.
No, dude. Thanks, man. Virtual hug. But now I just wanna throw one positive point to this. What is the best thing about being a sports anchor?
Well, the best thing about being a sports anchor is that it doesn't feel like work at all.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in the game, it doesn't feel work at all. Yeah, you get tired after. Pag uwi mo, ramdam mo yung pagod. But when you're there talking for the next 2 hours of a game, you're watching the sport that you love, you're talking to parang your best friend, diba? Kasi yung analyst mo parang siya yung best friend mo. Doesn't feel like work at all. Like, it's so fun. You can insert your personality. You can show yourself to the audience. Parang in a way na-introduce mo rin kung sino ka eh.
Mm-hmm.
So nagagamit mo rin yung platform na, hey, this is me as an anchor and as a person. Tapos yun, napapanood mo yung game front row.
I think what people don't realize about your job as a sports anchor, people think that yung bida, syempre yung mga athletes, but then let's say one of the greatest athlete of all time, Michael Jordan had a career but it ended na. But if you talk about Mike Breen, diba? If you talk about Doris Burke, those people are going to stay even like it's not the same eh. The sport you can keep playing it until your body can't anymore. Iba eh, mas matagal yung longevity when it comes to being a sports anchor. So I could just like that's how I would describe your job lang na it's not even like a second parang I can't play sports, I'll talk about it na lang. It's not even that. It's just I think people should have another perspective on it that wow, actually it's actually a bigger deal eh kasi it's gonna be your career for an even longer time now.
Yeah, if as long as kailangan ka nga nila, as long as they find you relevant, someone who can bring, something new to the table, then yeah, good for you. If tatagal ka nga as long as those guys we mentioned a while ago. If anything, yeah, the work you're working towards the future, staying long in this industry na every game you're only parang I'm sure this cliche has come across so many times na you're only as good as your last performance or game. Ganun sa amin, ganun sa anchoring. Like if you cover one game, let's say game number 1 of a series and you were so good, game number 2 ang dami mong mali. Then people will remember game number 2 when you head to game 3 na parang oh shucks.
That's right.
Ang sama nung call mo nung game 2, parang wala kang energy. Ang sama nung choice of words mo, di ba?
Yeah.
So, kailangan babawi ka sa next game. Yun lang yun. Parang you have to prove yourself every time na I'm worth your spot here in this rotation in your broadcast team, di ba? Kailangan nyo akong bigyan ng oras to go on air. Because going on air, really, it's a privilege. Even if you cover sports, you don't really say your opinion about, the things outside, like, your political views or whatever. Pero even if you talk about sports, it's a privilege, really, like, to be able to speak about the sport that you love.
Yeah. And given the
for
spotlight,
people to hear your voice. Yeah.
Not just because we're friends or that I've seen you also from your courtside years and everything. I really believe na, you're going to stay relevant, that you have a long career in sports. I also enjoy, obviously, getting to hear someone like mas nakaka-relate ako eh. The same way you're talking about Dico Ramos, why I think he's one of your pegs, diba? Same way when I watch you, when I watch Migs. So I hope that you continue to do it, and even if labo na with ABS and all that shit, you know what? I think sports are gonna find a way, and you're gonna find a way. But with that, I have one last question, not related to sports. Thank you, and you're welcome. I talked about this in one of my past episodes about covering this. Sorry, it's random, Mats. It was my random question of the day about covering toothbrushes. I want to know, are you the type of person who puts a cover, like yung toothbrush mo, may cover ba siya?
Meron.
Oh, as in, is it just plastic
Actually,
cover or ano?
Alam mo yung, hindi siya cover eh. Parang yung automatic na nakasabit sa
wall.
Yung parang pag ginanon mo, magsasara siyang ganun. So parang siya yung, pero yeah, cover siya basically.
Yeah. Pero tipong, if you're gonna go out of town and you bring a toothbrush, do you have a cover for that or?
Naka-cover talaga, bro.
So you're a cover guy. Okay. Kasi I'm a cover guy. I want to know what you think. I'm a cover guy, but there are people apart who just don't. Like, nandun na sa baso and it's just exposed. to the bathroom air.
Parang ayoko yung ganun, pare.
Diba?
Like,
wait but I learned something. I got shout out to Andy Limpo who messaged me. She's my friend who's studying dentistry. Apparently, and also there's another dentist also who's told me, I forgot the name. Na if you cover the toothbrush kasi, it's gonna stay moist. And if it's moist, parang more bacteria can grow. So, I don't know. I'm a cover guy. I have covered my toothbrush from the very start, but I didn't know about the wet shit. So, I would dry my toothbrush before I put it in a cover. Let me just giving you advice.
Pinapagpagpag ko siya.
Hindi, but it's moist pa rin eh. Ako kumuha ako ng 1 square of... I don't know if it makes it cleaner or not. 1 square of tissue, tapos inaano ko. Dry it up a bit. And then...
Hindi ko pa nang subukan, pero like, noted.
Yeah.
I might try not putting a cover also next time.
Ooh, okay, let me know.
Parang na-convince ako eh, kasi mga dentist yung nagsabi sa'yo eh. So...
Yeah. No, but they suggested you use the special cover that parang disinfects, or I honestly don't really know the specific, but yan. Okay. From advice from one toothbrush coverer to another.
Salamat.
You're welcome. And with that, Dip, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, brother.
I'm excited to see you more on this, and talking about the sports, and hopefully nga, our country's gonna get better. Our sports are gonna, we have the platform again and all that stuff. Yeah. So thanks very much again, Dip, for your time here, and I will see you again next time.
Thanks, brother.